Hello, my name is Ashley, and I am the mother of Faith. I'd like to thank you for taking the time out to meet with us before Faith begins your school. To tell you a little bit about Faith, she's an energetic, loving, and kind girl. She's interested in art and music. She uses a wheelchair as her mobility aid to move around her environment. Faith also lives with cerebral palsy. She loves to laugh. She enjoys reading books. Applesauce is her favorite food, and she thinks it's great when she gets a round of applause for anything. But who doesn't? Faith is learning her body, stating her needs, and navigating friendships. Faith can learn with children her age. She understands what's expected of her. When given time and opportunity to practice, she will develop strong friendships and social skills just as all the other children in your school. Now, speech is a bit more challenging for Faith, but there isn't a challenge that Faith can't face. She has a different way of communicating and will simply need more time to communicate. I ask that you take the time to get to know Faith. Check in with her when she starts your school. You will become familiar not only with her verbal communication, but also her nonverbal signs and communication. Now, I'd like to take a moment and share with you that this will be one of Faith's first experiences receiving messages about her own ability and the ability of others from someone outside of our home. Now, since this is your first experience with a situation such as this, I'd like to take a moment and share with you some background information. The cerebral palsy is a neuromuscular disability that has no cure, but it's not progressive and it can be managed with therapies and intervention. Cerebral palsy affects Faith's ability to move and control muscles, her posture, her balance, and coordination. So now that you've had a chance to meet Faith, who am I? Well, I'm Faith's doting mother, her advocate, and a member of her support team. My role is Faith's parent and protector and confidant. I must ensure that she receives all of her medical attention and services that are needed, and that she's able to participate in activities with peers. My goal is for Faith to know and feel confident and empowered. I support this development by listening to her message, her voice, and her opinion. She's able to communicate her likes and dislikes, and I honor and value her opinions, needs, and concerns. So who is this team? Well, you're going to have a chance to get to know the team of specialists, such as the speech pathologist who works with her articulation and communication, the physiotherapist, the physical therapist who helps with balance and motor skills as well as speech. You see, we need a community that's willing to work collaboratively. We need to talk about Faith's strengths, preferences, and abilities. The staff at this school is part of our support team. The more that we work together, the more that we develop a shared understanding of Faith. With the support of her support team, Faith has goals that will focus on her strengths and also support her learning and her development. So what does she need? Well, she needs eye contact at her level. She needs you to consider the environment and place her in that environment. We want Faith to become her strongest advocate, and you play a vital role in that development. Faith has a voice. We ask that you please hear it. Physically, Faith will need some materials to be adapted. Remember, we are a team, and we don't expect you to know and do everything. We are all learning together. For example, Faith will need thicker pencils and paintbrushes. We will bring extra so her classmates have the option of using these materials as well. When you play music and dance around the classroom, we ask that you think about the moves that can be done seated as well. As we explore the physical space of the classroom, we want to be sure that both Faith and the students in the classroom have space enough for the wheelchair and Faith's muscle movements. This space will add to the comfort of all students and the inclusivity of the classroom space. Emotionally, I ask that you and the staff here take the time to establish a positive relationship with Faith. Talk with her, give her opportunities to participate in decision-making. Socially, we ask that you are aware of how Faith is being treated by her peers. We know that children with cerebral palsy are often less likely to be included in activities, including in school. But we also ask that you do not force relationships to develop. We trust the children in this community to create friendships on their own. We have purchased a few books to add to your library with characters who are living with cerebral palsy. You can read these books out loud or just leave them in your classroom library. Our hope is that the students in this class connect with the characters and that Faith also finds a connection with the characters as well. Cognitively, it is essential that we focus on her abilities. She has so many interests. She likes to be mentally challenged, and there is nothing she cannot do. Some things just need to be modified to be more accessible. We also want to acknowledge the uncertainties and possible fears that you may be experiencing. This is a new experience for you, and creating an inclusive environment is empowering, exciting, and can be a bit nerve-wracking. I acknowledge that practicing inclusion is not easy. The best action you can take is to work collaboratively with us to allow Faith and her classmates to fully participate in the community together. I want you to know that inclusion leads to social, cognitive, and academic benefits, not only for my child, but for all of the students in her class. Our goal is for the actions we take to support Faith and to support all of the students in the classroom. Our goal for Faith is to have full access to this environment. So, what is our ask of you? We want you to create high expectations for Faith and the other children to reach their full potential while being in this learning community. When you talk about your school as being an inclusive school, because you do have an inclusive program that is evolving. I always love to share this quote. Inclusion is not bringing people into what already exists. It is making a new space, a better space for everyone. That's from George D. Thank you for being a part of our team, and thank you for welcoming our Faith. So what are some questions that you might have for me?